this is happening, but not just a Target. It's happening on the small scale to the local businesses. And we have lost so many local businesses. And it's not even just, again, it's not a Seattle thing. Look at San Francisco. This is a once world-class city, a gorgeous city that I fear is dying in real time. It's dying right before us. And while they're starting to make some changes, and we go through some of the changes they've actually adopted that have been successful in the book, but I don't know if they did it soon enough. And I fear that a city like San Francisco that could have very easily been saved, it's too far gone. And I fear that from my own city here in Seattle, I fear it for all of these other cities around the country. And again, we're making choices. We are choosing to allow this. So let's choose not to allow it, take things back, and actually start winning some of these arguments again.
And what's terrifying, you bring up San Francisco, this is the same week that Nancy Pelosi announced that she's running for re-election at she'll be 84 at the time of the election. And her selling point, at least according to the post on X that her team made, was she wants to export San Francisco values all around the country. Can you imagine turning the rest of the country into San Francisco? Holy moly. She basically wrote the campaign ad against her. It's totally nuts. It's totally nuts. Guys, I'm going to say the name of the book one more time. What's Killing America? Inside the Radical Left's Tragic Destruction of Our Cities. And Jason, my last question is 2024, the presidential race. What's going to happen? What's going to happen with DeSantis? What's going to happen with Vivek, with Trump, with Biden, with Kamala? What are we going to see in the next year?
So I am in that small but growing group of people who don't think Joe Biden is going to be the nominee. I think at some point he's going to
spicy.
Back. I know, and it's unlikely still. I'd prefer he stay in. I want a referendum on him, and I think any candidate on the right can beat him. Literally any candidate. On the right, clearly where we stand right now, Donald Trump is going to be the nominee, but I do think that there is a risk in not going to debates and allowing other candidates to shine. Because here's a very compelling argument, and I'm someone who, I like Donald Trump, but here's a compelling argument. That guy can't get elected because of all of this nonsense that the deep state, that the DOJ, the politicization of the criminal justice system is bringing upon him. It's unfair, it's disgusting, and I guarantee you, if you elect me, not only will I pardon him, but I will make sure every single person, every element that is responsible for this clear abuse of power goes to jail if they broke the law and is out of a job the second I take office. That is a compelling argument. And if you've got someone on the debate stages delivering speeches that has that message, I think clearly Vivek is getting a lot of attention. I think Nikki Haley is a clear threat. And of course, Ron DeSantis. If they take that message, I think it poses a potential threat to Donald Trump. And frankly, I want to see him on a debate stage. I want to actually see him debate because I actually think he's great at it. And I would love to see him mix it up.
Me too. I was actually disappointed that he didn't participate in the debate, although I understood his reasoning, right? He didn't want to cave to the RNC's ridiculous rules. He didn't want to give Fox ratings. But me personally, just my selfish enjoyment, I wanted him to be up there because I think he just shines on debates. So entertaining. And the debate that we saw was kind of boring. I think there's another debate the day after our book comes out. Our books come out on September 26th. The debate is September 27th. So you guys don't have to watch that debate. You can read our books, which is a much better use of your time. Let me ask you about Vivek, though. So I like what he's saying. I think he actually, if you just analyze the words that are spoken by all of these candidates, he's actually speaking to what I want to hear the most. But I worry that that's exactly what he's doing. I worry that he is speaking to what he thinks people want to hear because the things he's saying are pretty contradictory of the positions he's taken in the past. I mean, as recently as last year. Do you struggle with any skepticism or any trust issues with him, or what do you make of it?
I don't know if I would characterize it as trust issues. It's in the back of my mind. He's saying a lot of things that I like. He's saying some things that I don't necessarily like or agree with, which is totally okay. The problem, I think, that what you're picking up is something that I think I've been picking up is he's too polished. He's responding in such a clear and concise way that it sounds like it's scripted. It's not so much just that he's flip-flopping on some issues and everyone changes their minds. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you're doing that at the exact same time where you've got what seems like scripted messages because you're just very good on your feet like that, it gives off an impression of being phony. And that's actually what I think is benefiting, the opposite is benefiting Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley, who come off as authentic because they're not perfect communicators. It's just a weird sort of dynamic that I've personally been picking up. If it's Vivek or anybody else, with the exception of a handful of the candidates, I think we have a really strong chance of taking back the White House. I see it's ours to lose at this point, but that's never a good attitude to go into anything with. So I want to all act like we're down by 20 points.
Yeah, don't jinx it, Jason. Come on. We got to win this. We don't want it to be jinxed. Okay, guys, one more time. It's called What's Killing America? Inside the Radical Left's Tragic Destruction of Our Cities, written by our friend Jason. Oh, you brought the book. Look at you holding it up and everything. You're a pro.
It's heavy.
Written by our friend Jason Rant. It's heavy? How thick is it? Show me.
I mean,
show me the citations
this is
here.
a thick book.
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't recommend doing this,
Yeah.
but if you were to toss it at the head of a radical leftist, it would knock them out. Don't do that, though. You should buy it for them.
Not unless you're in the chop zone, then you might have to do it in self-defense. You can bring it as your defense weapon. Okay, Jason, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Guys, also follow him on X. I think your handle is just your name, right? Jason Rants?
Yeah.
Yeah, at Jason Rants. Easy to find. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, speaking of the 2024 elections, and in particular, the Republican candidates, I want to give you a sneak peek of what we do over on the Liz Wheeler Show community on Locals. We talk about Locals a lot because it serves two purposes. First, it's just a fun place to be. There's other like-minded people, and you get bonus content all the time. You get extended segments of the show 3 days a week. In addition to the fact that you help serve as a bulwark against us getting canceled. So if advertisers boycott or YouTube demonetizes us and Facebook demonetizes us, which they do all the time, your support, your contributions make this show sustainable. Like, we're not cancelable because of you. So join us at lizwheeler.com/locals. But I want to give you a sneak peek of just a part of the extended show from this week, from one of the extended segments this week, because it has to do with the 2024 Republican candidates, and it's pretty interesting. So take a look. Okay, let's talk about 2024 for a second, because believe it or not, Google did something kind of cool. So Google Trends is one of the services of Google that I use a lot for this show, because I like to see what people are searching for, what they're interested in. There's no algorithm to it. It just shows what people are looking at. Well, I should rephrase that. I don't think there's an algorithm to it. There probably is some kind of censorship, but it shows what people are searching for in real time, and then it shows what the highest searches were, or the most frequently searched terms were for the day before or the current day. And it's interesting to see. Oftentimes it's dominated by sports or a natural disaster or the lottery or something like that. But for politics, if you narrow it down to politics, Google released this animation that showed what voters are searching for regarding the Republican primary candidates. So what you're about to see, I'm going to play this animation for you and explain it as it goes. It compares Donald Trump, Vivek Ramaswamy, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, and Chris Christie, and shows which candidate is, and this is from like the beginning of September, and shows which candidate is the most searched candidate. So as you can see, Donald Trump dominates at the top. Vivek Ramaswamy is pretty significantly higher than the rest, although once in a while, Nikki Haley will make the news and jump ahead of him. Can we play that again, Rebecca? Because I want people to see what happens with Vivek at the end. Ron DeSantis and Nikki jump up a little bit, but then they dive back down. But at the very end, which means currently, as of today, look at what happens to Vivek Ramaswamy. He jumped up ahead of Trump. Watch, it'll come up in 2 seconds. So you see him kind of swapping with Ron DeSantis, and then all of a sudden his searches spiked and Donald Trump's went down. So now Vivek Ramaswamy, according to Google, is as highly searched as Donald Trump as of the last half a day. Now, could that be a fluke? It could be a fluke. So I know he got into beef on X, formerly known as Twitter, with Mark Cuban. He's making an announcement on Wednesday about how he's going to, if he were president, what he would do about the administrative state. And, people are interested. He's very likable. He's very charismatic. But this is the first time I've seen a candidate jump ahead of Donald Trump in the search. Hi, guys. It's Liz Wheeler. Don't forget to watch my show, The Liz Wheeler Show, every night at 7 p.m. on the First TV. You can download the free First TV app, or you can visit thefirsttv.com/Liz and start watching today.